Based on my intuition, like I haven't measured this, but I feel like 90% of conflict can be avoided with these 3 tips. Number one is just give people compliments. So much of the time, what turns into a conflict is like this petty stuff that actually isn't too important. But behind the scenes, there's people that don't like each other. So giving people compliments is like a great way to build that social capital. And it's kind of like increasing the lubrication in the system so that when there is real friction later, you'll have people will give you grace and trust by default, which is a superpower. So start start by being nice preventatively. Like prevention is the best medicine. And the second is don't argue if you don't need to. So a lot of people will say things that are wrong. They will make mistakes, and calling attention to that, you'll be perceived in general as like a disagreeable person or like a nitpicky person. So filter yourself and say, does this actually impact anything that I'm working on? If it's like someone just makes a mistake or says something wrong, the worst kind that I see here is like people getting in an argument about the news. It's like, guys, this has nothing to do with work. Or there might be like a programming language guild, like a Python guild or like a Ruby guild, and they're like arguing about best practices over there. It's like fucking shit, like stop. You just don't need to argue. You just don't need to argue. Okay, and so when you have the combination of those first two things, you have a backdrop of trust, and now you are getting in minimal disagreements. There's minimal friction, but still sometimes real disagreements that do matter, that do impact your work stream or do impact the customer, or they are genuinely high urgency. Those will still come up, and that's where tip 3 comes out, is give people a graceful exit. When you need to actually move someone out of your way or get them to do something, don't be a jerk and don't be a boss. Try to give them a graceful exit. If they made a clear mistake, if it is their fault, try to be understanding about how that might happen. Try to blame the process, not the person. Try to be accommodating. How can I help? Let's fix it to where this it's not, this is not really a you problem, but if this happens again, we can have a system in place to take care of it. So trying to depersonalize the conflict and giving people a graceful exit and giving them a way to atone so that they're not like doing penance. Like, I'm so sorry. People don't want to do that. People don't want to say like, I'm a bad person. I'm so sorry. I take the blame. People don't want to do that. If you can get them to say, oh, let me make this fix, they're going to feel a lot better. They're going to be more compliant. And the other part of making a graceful exit is not just in terms of the blame game. It's also in terms of the prioritization game. Telling someone, we're not going to work on your shit, pisses people off and they will fight tooth and nail. Telling someone instead, hey, I would love to help you with that. Can you help me with this first? And then we'll do that right after. So doing trades instead of declines and other ways of accommodating, if you can kind of parallelize it and say, hey, let's do both, but I'm going to lean like 60% on this, 40% on that. So those kinds of softer prioritization games also, I think, counts as this graceful exit. When I'm like, I'm not going to work on your shit as much or as urgently or as quickly, feels a lot more allowable to the receiving party than we're just like, we hate your idea, we're not going to work on your shit like ever. Like, delete it. That feels really bad. So give people a graceful exit. Just give them grace in general. Give them graceful entry and exit. I guess that's the even more pro thing to do.